Good morning.
Good morning.
Thank you for that very kind and warm introduction. We're going to have it for us. As I was sitting here this morning, beginning to think about this day, and began by thanking each of you, those who have served in the armed forces of the United States, and given your time and your talents to protect the soul of America. You and I have a common bond today because of our commitment to serve our country and distinguish ourselves because of who we are as men and women in the military. I want to thank ETS, especially to those who opened their hearts and their doors to allow me to come here today, but to especially recognize you as employees of this great organization to be a part of the fabric that continues to excel in every areas of this country. Education is the key and the foundation of your success as well as mine. And I would not be here today if it wasn't for certain components that allowed me to identify the dreams that I thought that was impossible for me to achieve. But through it all, I have come to realize this is not really something greater than I in this universe where I stand here today. As a Vietnam veteran who served in 1969, I came to reality of understanding what a combat soldier is. And I use this term very cautiously, but also to assure you as men and women, veterans are not weak. They are strong and courageous. We stand on the shoulders of men and women throughout the country who have enabled us to go to conflict, both domestic and international areas, and protect the soil and the families that we left behind. As I came back from Vietnam in 1970, I came back with medals on my chest, spit shine boots, feeling proud and distinct that I had served my country the best that I could do. And I realized that I wanted more out of life than the status quo. Unfortunately, when I came back from Vietnam in 1970, there were still conditions of racism being expanded and being disposed in South Carolina. But I knew within the fact that my foster mother raised 13 children who could not read or write, inspired me to say, you can do better than I did. And I took the opportunity to do so. 2.5 years, I was a homeless veteran in South Carolina, between Lancaster and Columbus, South Carolina, unable to find employment. As you know, the stigma associated with veterans at that time was a negative effect in terms of veterans. Came back like I did, took the uniforms off and buried them, because the association of being a Vietnam veteran was not very kind to us. There's such a stigma associated with us as being unfit or not worthy to be veterans who would serve the military. But through that process, I realized that I had to accomplish something personal for me to change my attitude about life. I had to make a decision, what was I going to do differently? What was I going to do to begin to change the process? Even though there was opposition against my success, I was determined to perseverance, to attitudes, to crying, to praying, and really sometimes thinking that this world did not have anything to offer me other than despair. But that in itself was just a part which caused me to begin to step up and realize that this world has a lot to offer. And even though I served in Vietnam and served with our men in combat, we all had a common bond with each other. And we reiterated that assurance that we could all stand together and be men. Fast forward. My goal was always been to achieve a college degree. No one inspired me as a young man to go to college. It was something that was not talked about in my community, especially for men of color. But at the same time, as I got out into the world, built my own construction management company, and began to see other people that began to inspire upon them, look upon them as role models, I began to say, why can't I go out and get a college degree? What is preventing me from being successful? And that journey that I undertook took almost 20 years in the process of understanding who I am and what I could do in order to change my life, but change the life of those who are around me. 25 years later, after I came back from Vietnam, I was diagnosed with PTSD, had a mental breakdown, overcome with nightmares, disorder of sleep, think of committing suicide, anger, trust, all those issues that PTSD is known for, I possess those symptoms. Because I took all the issues that I had in Vietnam and I buried it, because I did not want to share with anyone. I did not want to talk about my own pain, and my own struggles, and my own challenge that I endured in Vietnam as a soldier. And I was fighting myself. I was intensely fighting the fact that why could I not survive under these conditions? And when I fell on hard times, not knowing where I was or who I was, the VA hospital in Philadelphia picked me up and began to pull away the layers of what I had endured and the pain that I was carrying around for almost 25, 30 years, because I was not able to relinquish it. I was not able to share. I think the world understood what I experienced. You, as veterans who have served in the military, those who have been in combat, those who have been in situations of conflicts, you understand what I'm talking about. You know, we are men who stands up and women who stands up and embrace ourselves, because we want to be that person that takes on the world. We want to be able to stand up and say, we can do this, we have done this, we are proud of who we are as soldiers. And I felt that I had to do the same as well. But there are certain things that we cannot control as a human. Breakdown of the mental, physical, and spiritual body can take place. And during that time of recovery, that I began to recover, I began to get counseling for my PTSD, and my depression, and my anxiety, issues that sort of compelled me that I can do better than this, would begin to change the format of how I saw myself and how I saw the outlook possibility that could have taken place for me. And in doing so, that journey that I began to travel, my world began to open up in ways I never imagined. Opportunities in terms of me receiving counseling at the hospital that I continue to receive enabled me to stand before you today as a truly humble soldier who have been in combat, who've been where you are, and been where you may have been, to say to you, we are all in this together. And I believe that my success today is based upon the reality of life, that nothing can stop me from achieving the goals that have been put before me, because I'm driven, I'm determined, I have perseverance, and I believe that it's God's will, not my own, that I stand here to share with you a personal journey. And that journey allowed me to go back to school. I went back and got my associate degree at community college. Then I decided, well, this is easy, I can do something else with this. And I stepped out on faith and I entered the doors of Rice University, which seemed like a mountain to climb, because I had no idea what lied on the other side of it, lied within the institution itself. I graduated in 2014 as the commencement speaker at the Distinguished Office. I made the dean's list. I made the dean's list 4 times as an undergraduate at Rice University. Successfully in terms of my own dimension and of my own life and my own concerns, I integrated myself in the studies of education. What can I do to learn, to increase my visibility, to increase my awareness, and to help those who are around me that I came in contact with? And that opportunity allowed me to reflect as a young black man, grew up in South Carolina, who picked cotton as a kid, to support his family so we can have biscuit eggs on Sunday morning, to make sure that my sisters and brothers had a warm house when they got up in the morning, make sure they had the clothes that they had to wear, and all the things that I had to endure, that life would be successful for me. I had no idea what will come after that. So I stand here on the shoulders of men and women throughout the universe. For my path is your path. My gateway is an opportunity for me to expose what one individual can do. Not to sit on the sidelines, complain, have despair, feel like everything is against him or her. What can I do to make a difference? And during this travel journey, I realized that I have a calling. I have a purpose. And that purpose resonated with me in terms of my own experience being a Vietnam veteran who was homeless for 2.5 years, diagnosed with PTSD, and looking at the population of American veterans who are now returning home today with similar conditions and despairs of what they're facing in terms of physical and mental health care. What can I do to change that paradigm that I can be a resource to men and women who may be struggling with the same issue that I am struggling with and struggle with today? So I said to myself, I can be a mirror, a reflection, because now I'm pursuing my master's in clinical mental health, which I will graduate in 2017. I plan to take that degree, a master's degree, and force it to the issue of sitting down with the Department of Veterans Affairs to discuss my involvement of working with youth, veterans, and their families. I just been offered an internship in GenSite in Lawrenceville, New Jersey, through my practicum and internship in 2017. I'm looking forward to that because not only do we have a population, but they have a veteran population that they serve as well, from Fort Dix and McGuire. So I am so thankful and so blessed before this opportunity that I can now go and utilize my skills, my training that I'm now receiving at the United University, to equip myself and GenSite to work with the veteran population. That is my calling. That is my goal, personally, because I understand, as you understand, that as veterans, we all walk the same path. We've been there, we've done that. We speak the same language. We are in constant connection with each other. We realize that this opportunity that we now have in front of us, even though there's issues, I understand that the Department of Veterans Affairs has not done all the things they could have done, but they're doing some things. But it's up to us as veterans to take advantage of these resources. It's up to us to apply for these resources and the benefits that have been offered to us. Not being weak, but being strong and being courageous, because it is us who were put on the front lines to defend the Constitution of the United States. It is us who brought the freedom home so that people in the community could realize their lives are being taken care of. It's us that can make a difference and have and is continue to make a difference in this country. I believe that this concentration of my own life can resonate with veterans of all walks of life. Because I want to be a conduit, I want to be a person that can counsel young men and women and give them hope and inspiration and admiration of the possibilities that I have been able to achieve. And not just limit them because of putting them out on the streets, having them be homeless, suffering from depression, anxiety. We have a number of 22 veterans commit suicide on a daily basis. One too many veterans are committing suicide, one too many. That issue has to be addressed immediately because we need to find a way that we can address mental health services internally before we turn those veterans out to the community, because they're going back to their community, they're going back to their loved ones, to their families, and they're struggling. How do they re-enter to society? How do they readjust themselves so they can be a productive citizen? We need to address that because we are valuable commodities that we signed up, or volunteered, or drafted to defend this Constitution. And I believe that the Department of Veterans Affairs have a responsibility to ensure that the veterans return home fully and completely, that they can be sustained within the community to be productive citizens. Without that, we are a lost cause, a lost population. You veterans here today, you are part of the fabric that make up this beautiful country that we now serve and now protect. But what are we going to do with that? I can only be one person, and you have your voices that you can share and explain and talk to other veterans who are here, those who are not here, what can they do to advance the cause? I believe that, and that my goal is to take my training, embrace it in a manner which will help me to understand that my purpose in life is to educate, to inspire, to expose, and to help our young men and women return to self-normalcy in their lives. I thank you for the opportunity to speak this morning. God bless you, continue to inspire you, and I thank ETS for this opportunity. Thank you.